welcome back to another video on the channel today. Today's video we're going to be taking the GR3 Porsche 911 RSR around Bathurst for a track guide to make it even harder for myself. First time on this track in a GR3 car. We've done one go in a GR4, which is a fair bit difference in terms of reference points and turning in. So for this lap it's in a GR3 car, and to make it even harder, like I say, it's at night time, so it was a real struggle to get up to speed. It took me a while. I got very close to the ultimate speed, but there was still time left on the track that I'm sure we'll get to as we come to the track, like we did with Nürburgring. Yeah, we gained over a second from the time to the third time, from the first and third time we came to it. So I'm sure we'll gain maybe 3-4 attempts on this lap and put ourselves into the 201s. This lap was a 202.1. There was probably about 2-3 attempts at least I can see on there already that where I can gain time, but I wanted to get on with doing some racing on the track, as racing was where it matters. And the first two races I did were not very good errors, because it's such a hard track to keep consistent on. But the third or fourth race I think we managed to win by about 3 seconds I think it was, and it was an okay race. There wasn't really much action, it was just led from the start, so we won't be uploading that race because there's not really much action to show. But really enjoyable track. What I'm going to do is, as usual, let you guys watch the footage played in real time. I had to record it from the replay footage because I forgot to save it when I did the lap, so it's off the replay footage. So you can have a little watch of that, and then we'll go through a slow motion track guide for yourselves. Enjoy the lap, and I'll be back very soon. Okay, so that's the lap finished, and as you can see there was a nice lap, a few tiny little errors but nothing major. So looking out for our first braking reference points, obviously you want to take that last corner nice and clean. Coming into the first corner, I like to brake just after the 100 board on the right hand side. You're going to see it approach now, just after that 100 board there, in between the 150 about, down into second gear, and try and keep it nice and tight on the apex, and then get on the power as early as you can. You can see we're on the power now. Use some of that curb on the right hand side and a bit of that tarmac on the right hand side. We got that very nicely done there. Pushed the limits quite far and did a reasonable good exit on the corner. Now accelerating up the long straight, not much you can do here other than just accelerate flat out. I changed gear into 5th just as I go onto that bridge there as a reference for anyone. Now we're going to look for our next braking point, which is between the 100 and the 50. You can see that bit of tarmac on the left, braking down into 2nd gear, and again you want to keep it nice and tight on that curb and then stay in 2nd gear until you feel power. Put the power flat down, then into 3rd gear. Be careful, if you're going to run on that curb on the left, make sure you put it in 3rd gear before you do it, or you can spin out and lose control. Then going into 3rd gear, through this left hand and then lift and then down into 2nd gear as we go through the corner, and then stay nice and tight to the apex again. I like to hug that inside, and then when you feel your corners there, accelerate hard out of the corner. Be careful not to overpower coming out through these corners. You can spin the wheels up and cause a little bit of loss of traction. Going through this corner is pretty much flat out, just a tiny little lift if you need to there, and you see there we got a little bit of a moment but just about saved it, lost maybe a tenth or so there. Flat out now, and then again as you turn in here now, you really got to aim to hit this apex nice and tight and stay on the power as much as you can. And then just as you see this curb approaching on the right, just past that curb, we're turning just past that curb nice and early, so you take this corner really tight, staying in 4th gear, flat on the accelerator there pretty much, and then going into this really tricky section where you brake really late. I like to brake really late, then down into 3rd, then 2nd gear as we approach the this final bit of these twisting section. And then be careful for this corner, you've got to stay on the brakes, keep the weight transferred to the front end of the car so that the rear doesn't come loose, and then on the power once you feel that obviously the car's stable. Accelerating now down into this tricky corner again in 3rd gear, let it stay to the right hand side and then brake before you hit that dip on the thing, otherwise you're going to end up running off wide down this corner. This enables you to stay nice and tight to that left hand side, so brake just before that, the peak of that hill, and then accelerate out the corner nice and early, because that's so important, that last corner, to get maximum acceleration out, because there's a lot of times we gain down this straight from getting that corner right. It can be up to as much as 3 to 4 attempts if you get that corner right or wrong, so just bear that in mind. Now going into the next zone, I like to brake just past 150 on the right hand side. You're going to see it approaching in a minute. You can see there 150 there, and we brake just past that, going down into 2nd gear, and again don't try not to hit this curb too hard. You can see there we just skimmed it. Then on the power as early as you can, use some of the curb on the right hand side, flat out now into 3rd gear and accelerate into our next braking zone, where I like to brake just after the 100 again on the right hand side. You're going to see it approach now, so just after that 100 there, down into 2nd gear. I don't like to go into 1st gear as it unsettles the car a bit, so stay in 2nd gear, then floor the car out of the corner as much as you can without running too far wide. We nearly ran a bit too far wide but got away with it. Then over the line for a 2 minutes 2.1, and like I say, there is definitely a 2 minutes 1.6 I think I could have got if I would have carried on pushing it, but like I said, I just wanted to get on with doing some racing, and obviously with my first race at this track and first attempt at it, I'm reasonably happy with that lap. I feel like we're getting close to the ultimate pace, so it's all coming along reasonably well now, especially in this GR3 cars. Starting to get the hang of where you need to put the power down. We also did the other track the other day at Alcas Village or something like that I think it is. That was a very tricky one for me because it was a new car I had to drive, the M6, and a new track, so I was about a second off the ultimate pace there, so not much I could do other than do the best I could. I managed to get within a second of the top time. Wasn't really happy with the lap, but I'll do a track guide for what I've learned on that track so far very soon. We've also got a GR4 track guide coming up for this track in the daytime, so obviously different cars have different references for when you're turning in, with the grip levels being different. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I enjoyed doing this lap. It was really fun doing it in the night time. Great seeing the sparks fly on the replays, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Thanks again for watching.